We have seen several windsurfers and bodyboarders riding the large waves out in the lake. And we actually talked with one who says, if you don't know what you're doing, stay out of the water.
The water out here is moving around so much. If you're not confident in the fact that you can get yourself back to the beach, it's not worth taking the risk. I mean, I wouldn't be out here without a board, and I've been swimming my whole life.
We were just talking about what will we ask those guys about, why are they out there and stuff like that, but they better know what they're doing. I mean,
and they have to stay safe. They need to wear some sort of a life jacket.
Always tracking, always alerting. This is Storm Team 8.
Here's a live pictures from Grand Haven where a rescue is in progress at the current time. This is a rescuer of I believe I was told a kayaker who was being rescued on a board and brought back in. Very large waves out there right now, and boy, if you don't know what you're doing, you certainly shouldn't be out there right now. I have a couple kayaks myself, and you can see how easily they can be swamped in waves that are running as high as 8 feet right now on the Port Sheldon buoy. So once again, we have a rescue in progress here at Grand Haven. You can see somebody swimming off toward the shore. Let's continue to stay with this here for just a second and make sure these people get back on shore. This is at the Grand Haven State Park area. Now the wind is almost due west, so again, the currents would not be as much of a threat as they would be with a south or southwest wind. But what you're seeing right now is, again, they're trying, I don't know, they've got somebody right here, and I don't know who's trying to rescue who right now, but we have people right on there. I guess there's somebody. Okay, the guy in the green is the guy being rescued. Okay, there's a guy in the green who's there somewhere who's being rescued, pulled ashore. He supposedly was in a kayak that got submerged. There he is right there being brought to shore. Again, very dangerous situation out there, and if you don't know what you're doing, I know a lot of the surfers out there are used to this kind of thing, but a lot of people out there are not. Water temperatures are around 68, 69 degrees at the current time. And as I mentioned, the Port Sheldon buoy is showing waves at around 8 feet. I'm looking at waves right now that look like to be around 5 to 6 feet there. This is on the south side of the Grand Haven breakwater. That is a breakwater, by the way, and not a pier. A pier would allow water to go underneath it. So technically, if you're making reference to that, it is a breakwater. It stops the water there. Water can't go through it, around it. It has to go around it, can't go through it. So the person there in the green is supposedly being brought to shore right now by rescuers. This person in a kayak hasn't quite gotten to shore as of yet. You can see the waves are breaking a little bit beyond to the right where we are right now. The Grand Haven Pier, there's another life raft being thrown in the water. The Grand Haven Pier is breakwater is the most dangerous place in the entire Great Lakes. There has been more danger right there in terms of casualties and rescues at the Grand Haven breakwater than any other breakwater in the entire Great Lakes. This is an area that's very active. A lot of people, you can see, bring him to shore. Everybody seems to be okay at this particular point, but a number of people bring him onto shore. And I would imagine some of those people that are in the water with him are people that are surfers, as we earlier showed about 5 surfers there right around him there. So evidently he's in shore. He's walking back on shore right now. Again, rescue in progress at Grand Haven State Park.
And now to those wild waves on Lake Michigan, some nearly 10 feet tall. We brought you live pictures of the monster whitecaps during our 6 o'clock newscast when this happened right in front of our camera.
Let's go. Hey, Marcia, tie her hair to the boat. Good one. Hey! Reel it in. Reel it in. Reel it in. Got it.
And that was our own photojournalist Bilal Kurdi, who saw a distressed kayaker and then helped several people both on the Grand Haven Pier and in the water rescue that man. But this was one of 2 rescues at that same pier tonight. 24 Hour News 8's Heather Walker has this story from Grand Haven.
It looks like fun though.
Some people came from across the state to look at the waves today. Others came to catch a few.
This is probably the first real good actual waves of the season, so trying to get it while the water's still warm.
But soon the fun turned dangerous as rip currents formed.
It's a little bit of the washing machine feel out there, but...
Around 6, our photojournalist Bilal Kurdi noticed a kayaker struggling.
He needs help. Why don't we toss him a rope here?
He helps to grab a flotation device on the pier and a lifeguard steps in.
Let's get this going, come on.
In the water, the surfers swim over and get the kayaker up on one of the boards.
Let's go.
there's an issue. Yes, there is an issue. There is an issue. Give it to him. We got a rescue going on here, Dan.
They toss out the life preserver again and swim it out to him. He grabs on and is pulled toward shore, but then lets go.
Toss him the life preserver again. Toss him the preserver. Toss it.
The surfers get him back on a board, and with their help, he's able to walk out.
Good job, guys. Good job. There's his kayak.
Yeah, I just caught a good surf wave and was riding it in, and another diagonal wave came in from another direction and took a little beat down, and the force of the wave ripped me out of my boat. So went for a little swim. The rip current's really strong today, but that's why we got a bunch of people out here to help each other out. And it's just sometimes you get humbled by Mother Nature a little bit.
Heather Walker reporting. Rough day out there. There are a lot of resources out there to protect yourself if you're out on the big lake. One was started by a West Michigan woman who lost her son on that very pier. It's a website called respectthepower.org. And she will be live on Daybreak with a personal warning about the dangers of swimming in rough lake conditions. Plus, we'll have a water rescue expert walk us through that video, showing us exactly what the kayaker did right and what he did wrong during his attempt to get back to shore. Plus what rescuers did right to save him. That's at 5:30 and 6:30 tomorrow on Daybreak.
Yeah, I just caught a good surf wave and was riding it in, and another diagonal wave came in from another direction and took a little beat down.
It was a dramatic rescue on Lake Michigan as whitecaps nearly swallowed a kayaker near Grand Haven. We brought you the coverage live on 24-Hour News 8 at 6. And this morning, we're taking the rescue efforts one step further. We're talking to the Director of Education for the Great Lakes Surf and Rescue Project. He's part of an effort to teach surfers about how to handle rescues on the big lake. He's going to walk us through this life-saving effort and tell us what the rescuers did right and what may have been done differently. Brett?
All right, thank you, Emily. I'm joined here with Bob Pratt. So Bob, let's talk about this. What do you teach surfers to do and how to execute this rescue? When it happened yesterday, right? And what are the things that you've been teaching them to do all along here in order to do a rescue like this?
Brett, surfers are in a really good position to make rescues. They have thermal protection to protect them from the cold water. They have a flotation device that they're attached to, and with a little bit of knowledge, they can use those flotation devices and really make a rescue, as we saw very dramatically yesterday.
Yeah, we're looking at this video that's coming in here on our big wall here. The first thing they did was they got this ring out to the surfer. This is him right here, this guy in the green at this point, okay? So he's the one who's being rescued. They throw out the ring to him, which is the proper thing to do, right?
Absolutely. It keeps the rescuer safer than having to go into the water.
Yeah, it also makes it so he has something to hold on to it, and it's not a person's body that he might be trying to drag down with him, right? So now they're going to try to pull him into the side of the pier here. Right. And as we watch along here further, and as this happens, he gets pulled into the pier, but then they reach this point where they can't get him up on top of it, right?
Well, actually, we prefer that people pull them along the pier into shore, because exactly what happened is the danger. He can get washed into the pier by the waves and be injured, and then unfortunately let go of the rescue device. He makes the choice here after this wave kind of rolls over him. He's going to make the choice to leave the rescue tube, which is his flotation device, which is his safety, and try to make a swim for it. This is a bad choice. You
Shouldn't have done that, obviously.
He gets washed away from. He's trying to get to a ladder. The ladder's in red here. He's trying to get to the ladder, but the waves push him away from the ladder.
Because
so he's leaving an area of safety.
Wave action isn't necessarily going to bring you in there or move. It'll just take you about anywhere at this point. So bad choice there.
Right. So now the surfers are going to move back in. This is Matt Smolinski, who will paddle over and does an excellent job keeping the board between him and the victim, so the victim can't grab him. Always keep the flotation between you and the victim.
We continue to try to get the ring back out to him here, but they're not going to do that. They're just going to put him on this board.
That puts him in a position of safety here. He lays him across the board. It's very, very stable, so these waves are not going to, they may wash over them, but they're going to be able to stay connected, and he's going to keep that flotation there, then try to put him on top of the board, and Matt's going to move to the back of the board so that he can maneuver the board.
Steer and push him.
And Marty course, is also helping, bringing him in. There are actually surfers behind these two gentlemen who are calling out when the waves are coming, so they know when they need to take a nice deep breath.
This is exactly what you taught these guys to do.
It's exactly.
This is textbook, basically.
Yeah,
so now that instead of trying to bring him into the pier, they're going to try to take him to the beach.
Take him right to shore.
Take him to the sand here, where he can get up and walk at this point. I mean, is he in kind of a state of shock too?
He's the good things that he's done is he got a life jacket on. Obviously, very, very important. But on 2 occasions, when he left the kayak and then he left the flotation ring, he's making a poor choice because he's again exposing himself to the elements when he should be staying with the flotation.
We were watching this whole thing basically unfold live. I was sitting on my couch at home going, my gosh, I can't believe this is happening. You know, first off, that people would be in this water, and secondly, that somebody needed to be rescued on live television here. And this is, though, how you'd want somebody to handle this. If you are out there surfing, take them to the beach. Don't try to get them up on the pier.
Yep. You'll notice that there's a lot of teamwork involved here, and they need to get him right up on the dry sand. He is exhausted. He's out of breath. We don't know whether he's inhaled any water. Needs to be evaluated, so they will take him right up to the dry sand. And hopefully,
I'm so glad that they were able to follow along what you've told them to do here, and that it ended so well in this case. Now, if they weren't there, this group of surfers, you just continue to throw the ring out to them, right? You don't jump into the water on your own unless you have some kind of board or flotation device.
Unless you have some training and the experience to do it. You have no business being out there in the water.
Yeah, so the idea would be you throw it out there like they initially did. He gets a hold of the ring, pull him up to near anyway the pier, and then walk him all the way down.
Right. Yep. Very good.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Thank you so much for talking about this. Well, Bob Pratt isn't going anywhere here. We're going to get more insight from him on what the Great Lakes Surf Rescue Project is all about here. That's later on Daybreak here. We're also going to talk to a woman who lost her son to drowning off the Grand Haven Pier and spearheaded the effort to get life rings and other safety devices on it. That all coming up in our 6:30 half hour right here on Daybreak. Thank you so much, Bob.